So let's begin with calming the body-mind, because sometimes we have to stop running in order to heal the mind and connect with our spirits. So 8 years ago, I had been running for a lifetime, and when my pain began, my nervous system literally felt like it was ramped up and in overdrive. Sometimes I could actually feel buzzing at the base of my brain and down my spine. When my nervous system was in this state, my bladder was usually inflamed and painful, and my pelvic floor muscles were in knots. The sympathetic nervous system responds to threat and readies our body to carry out the fight or flight response. It felt like my body was literally locked into this state of fight or flight. My pelvic pain condition coexists with other conditions like fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, and irritable bowel syndrome. And there is new research that suggests that it is this ramped up nervous system that might be the factor that links these conditions. Learning to calm my nervous system was crucial for decreasing my pain, and now I'm pain-free on most days without medications. And when I do have a flare-up occasionally, it is almost always when I'm stressed, I can usually get my body to calm down fairly quickly. So if my nervous system could change after experiencing such an extreme state for so many years, it should give others hope that change is possible. So even though my condition was extreme, having a ramped up nervous system is actually pretty common. Dr. Lissa Rankin, who's the author of the book Mind Over Medicine, reports that most people have about 50 stress responses a day where you get kind of triggered into that fight or flight mode. And some people, which I'm sure I was one of these, have more than twice as many. So, how can we move out of this stressed out mode? Well, thank goodness we have a parasympathetic system, which gives us the counterbalancing relaxation response. Dr. Rankin postulates that when the nervous system is in this relaxed mode, the body's natural self-repair mechanisms flip on. Well, we all could use some self-repair, right? So let's think about how we can get into this more relaxed state. There's some evidence that certain activities help turn on this calming side of the nervous system. And I'm going to read the list aloud, and if you would like, raise your hand if you've tried it, okay? So the first is meditation, creativity, massage. You guys are working. Yoga. Well, that's the sympathetic nervous system. Okay, so yoga, Tai Chi. I haven't done Tai Chi, but I've heard it's wonderful. Being with friends. And if you're not raising your hand, I know you're lying. Work you love. Laughing. I want to do more of this. Exercising. I should do more of this. And playing with animals. And how many of you have animals that you play with all the time? I'm blaming my husband for not having animals, so you can talk to him later, okay? So, sorry, honey. It seems like having more joy in our lives helps us calm down physically, too. Now, we each have unique ways our bodies respond to stress and hold tension. For me, my pelvic floor tightens up, and I learned that this was a lifetime pattern. 4 years into my healing, I was singing in choir and breathing with my diaphragm, and this part of my body started to move, and I'm like, what is that? Because that part of my body had never moved throughout my life. It was completely new for me. Now, for you, it's probably not this extreme, but consider where you hold your tension. Perhaps it's your low back, or your jaw muscles, or your neck. So tuning into the areas where you feel tension and doing self-massage or stretching can help the full system calm down. I found that giving my body messages that all is well helped me feel that way too. So when I was spinning with fear or anxiety, getting on my feet helped me feel grounded. Walking helped me feel like I was moving forward. And eating a meal calmly helped me relax too. I think on a primitive level, the body knows that you're not going to sit down and eat a meal calmly if you're being chased by a tiger. So it gave my body an idea that all was well. Whenever my friend Christine and I walk together at the nature center, she startles or jumps whenever a lizard or a squirrel moves quickly toward the path. On our last walk, she said, "You know, Mary Ruth, I know it's really weird, but when I was 10 years old, I was sitting in a little wooded clearing with my cousin, and we were sitting on lawn chairs. It was in Michigan, doesn't matter, but we're sitting on lawn chairs, and I have a bowl of peanuts in my lap, and she went to the house. And then all of a sudden, I heard tromp, 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 you know, like boom, 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 and I thought somebody was coming through the leaves in the forest. And she goes, and I looked, and there was an 8-foot snake making its way toward me with a head the size of my fist. She said, I threw the peanuts into the air. I ran screaming to the house. And so it makes perfect sense why Christine is hypervigilant. She's no longer in danger, but her body-mind has become sensitive to random things jumping out at her in nature. And this stimulus was so threatening in the past that on some level she's kept it so she can be safe and she can survive. So as we're walking, I'm able to relax and enjoy the scenery, and I'm loving the conversation with Christine. But she was distracted, and I could walk smoothly, but her steps were tentative and erratic. For me, random animals are not a threat, but I have other threats. And for Christine, they set off automatic protective responses. So your internal threats may be more subtle, or they might be related to emotional triggers and not physical triggers. Some of these threats you may be aware of, and some may be playing subconsciously in the background of your mind. So when we become more aware of these internal threats, our stressful thoughts, our internal beliefs, we have an option to change them. When we calm down in this way, we can enjoy the scenery, we take in more information, and we grow. With my condition, whenever I was stressed, the tension and pain in my body would ramp up. And after about 2 years, yes, it took me 2 years to think that maybe, just maybe, there might be an emotional component to my illness. And then I began to look within. And in the process of self-discovery, it was actually my body that was my greatest teacher. The pain signaled me, hey, Mary Ruth, you're carrying something. You're really stressed out. And then it forced me to look at it and to choose a new way or figure out a new way in order to be comfortable. So my body had to scream in pain before I began to even realize that it was talking to me. But now you better believe it. When it whispers, I'm listening. So consider that stress can be more than something to control. It can become your greatest teacher. You don't have to be in pain like me to tune in to the signs that your body is stressed. And when you feel stress, ask yourself, why am I stressed? Why are you stressed? And the key is when you answer this question, it will be really easy to blame a situation or to blame a person and to keep it all out there. But when you ask this question and you look within, you can uncover underlying beliefs or thought patterns, old traumas, emotions, and then you have an opportunity to replace it with a new message. It is when our internal messages change and become more loving and expanding that the whole system calms down.